Have you had any free time recently? Maybe you just got back from work or school and you've just sat there for maybe 20 minutes debating what to play. Until you eventually give up and play a game you already played, say, the day before? Completely forgetting the hundreds of other games you have never touched before, or story games you have half completed. And once you have wasted that time, it makes you feel extremely unproductive and regretful. Now, why is this happening so much to us now? And I want to talk about it because this is something that I have been doing for a little while myself. And it's a weird thing to do, right? You would have thought maybe that picking a game would be so much easier now that we have like Steam and these thousands of games just sitting there. But no, it isn't. It's so much more difficult. And going back to the 2000s and early 2010s, it really was easier just to play games. Back then, most people had a lot less games back then as well. Maybe you were younger and were waiting for the next big holiday, like Christmas, to get a game that you've been waiting to play for ages. And with the options of games being far less diverse back then as well, made it easier to just pick a game and play. And with your current games, you had one or two games you played it. Well, if you didn't like it, it was your game to play. You may have had 3 games, but you still played through, say, Crash Bandicoot all the way through multiple times and enjoyed it. A place I have only been to a few times, Blockbuster and Game, are two places that I used to go to a little when I was younger, and I hope you would agree with me with this point. Physical discs and box art was so much better than what we have now. I'm not saying it's a lot worse than what we have now. I mean, heck, it's so easy just to buy a game and play. But it goes into the fact of looking for games, and seeing one with a cool box art would make you want to get it, you know. And even more, there wasn't any hesitation in picking up a new game if you were to see one there. I mean, this is a big thing that I wish was kind of still popular, but obviously with the rise of technology kind of not really going to happen anymore anyway. I'm currently working and doing YouTube and stream every now and again on Twitch for the last few years now-ish, and one thing I have to remind myself is if I want to play a game and don't want to do anything, just kind of sit there and play, I just have to do it, because if I want some time, I might as well do it, because at least then when I have finished playing, I kind of feel a lot better when I go back to maybe scripting a video or work. But sometimes when I go to have some time just chilling, it gets difficult with the games catalogs nowadays. Like Steam or Epic Games, it just seems like there's too many things to kind of pick out. And it's a good and bad thing. I know that, me 10 years ago would have loved to have all these catalogs of different games to play at any time. But it's a pretty bad thing at the same time, because of choice overload. It's oh, do I play some Euro Truck Simulator? Oh, I can't really be bothered at the moment. Or maybe I play that? Maybe not. It's human psychology. If you were presented with too many options to pick from, you would get kind of overwhelmed and then end up picking the same thing or the norm for you. This is made really difficult with these subscription services that end up making decisions even more difficult, like for example Xbox Game Pass. And there's even subscription services now that give you multiple games a month to play. And even Epic Games also giving out their free games every now and again as well, even if they aren't really that good. A great example for this is look at your Steam library and filter out the games that you've played versus the games you haven't ever touched. And unless you play all your games, there will be a decent chunk of games you have probably not played or haven't finished yet, which is fine. If you haven't finished a game, maybe you didn't like a part of the game and then gave up with it. But the point is, there is way too many options now. And that leads into myself when I'm back from work. I then take a while to kind of figure out the game, and then either end up watching something on YouTube or Prime Video, which is still fine. Like me recently watching Ted Lasso, rewatching it. That's a good show if you know what that is. And then, regretting not doing anything productive. I have been recently playing a bit of Rocket League again, and I just can't seem to fully get myself into it again. I do enjoy the gameplay, still, the players are still as toxic as ever, but I just can't seem to put in the time into the game that I used to. Maybe because I've gotten older now, but it's one game out of the hundreds of others I have, and it's just a massive choice to make it in, the time I have to play, which is something a lot of you may have when you just got back from, say, school or work, which you will probably have likely around 5 hours of free time, less if you have something else to do like side projects or anything else. So say around 2 hours to play sometimes, and it is difficult to choose what to spend sometimes them precious 2 hours on. The games themselves sometimes are the reason why it's difficult to pick, as previously mentioned. Gaming has kind of evolved a lot over the years. I mean, this is pretty obvious, but with that means that we have some pretty shady and kind of pretty sad stuff going on with some of the some good games anyway. Like, well, battle passes being everywhere. Some games looking like this, with just way too many challenges and missions to complete. It sometimes feels like you're going to another job and it's just a chore to do. And I feel like that's a pretty good reason as to why myself personally doesn't know what to play. Because I just want to find a game to play for a little bit, just to kill some time, and have some fun with a simple kind of challenge in mind for me to try and accomplish. It seems that all these other games want you to kind of fully commit to them like a part-time job, which makes choosing a game even more difficult, because by the time you've ended up claiming the daily rewards, you then give up with actually playing the game. And you're like, do I really want to start this game now? Now, the reason why this is getting kind of worse is already clear, but what could actually be done to this, or done to kind of get over this? And this is something I've managed to do to kind of get over it mostly. Now, play the games you used to be into, or if you do get a new game, just get one single game and kind of play it all the way through, and just try to enjoy the game to the most you can. An example of an older game I've just gotten back into was Osu, and that's the game that I've managed to play, just for fun, with like the simple goal of just trying to get better and higher in the rankings. And you just need this one game that you could play. Another one is Valorant with some friends, and just maybe, play the games. Don't kind of second guess a decision on a game you're going to play as well. And you will probably end up having a much more rewarding experience with the games you end up playing. And if you end up feeling regretful or unproductive, just scrap that thought entirely and just put it at the back of your mind. It's always good to have some fun every now and again and to clear your head. And if you still cannot get that out of your head, do something productive. It doesn't have to be too long, it could be like 30 minutes, and come back and you will feel so much better then. Hey, who knows what games you randomly commit to and try out you might actually enjoy. And this is also a video to me, a video to you guys, and also to me, myself, to remind myself that I don't really need to feel guilty about playing a game and to not sit on that Steam library kind of procrastinating what to do for so long. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. This video will most likely be out on the weekend, maybe not. I honestly don't know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good weekend if the video's out by then. If not, then I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Next week for another video. Peace out.